Did you know that there are phrases narcissists fear to hear? Whether it's a partner, a friend, or a co-worker, dealing with narcissists can leave you feeling drained, hurt, or even exploited. It's like you're constantly giving, but never receiving. But what if there were simple phrases you could use to shut them down? And what if you had 7 powerful phrases that could protect and empower you in any situation? Over the past few months, I've spent hours combing through over 2,000 comments on my channel and over 5,000 comments I downloaded from other sources. Comments from real survivors who shared what worked for them when dealing with narcissists. From all that research, I've narrowed it down to the 7 best phrases to use in different situations to not only shut the narcissist down, but also protect yourself from their manipulation. And here's the bonus. I won't just give you the phrases. I'll also explain why each one works, what effect it has on the narcissist, and the right moments to use them. By the end of this video, you'll feel more confident and equipped to take control of these difficult situations. Let's dive right in. The first phrase is great for most situations where the narcissist does something you simply can't tolerate. It's, "That's not acceptable." When you say this, you're making it crystal clear what behavior you won't tolerate. Maybe they want you to drive them all around on Saturday for free because it's really important to them. That's not acceptable. They have to give you some gas money. You don't owe them your time or gas money. Or maybe they throw a tantrum. Just calmly say, "Your behavior is not acceptable," and walk away. A softer version of this is, "That doesn't work for me." The reason narcissists hate hearing this is because they can't stand being told what they can and cannot do. They feel entitled to whatever they want without consequences. Saying, "That's not acceptable," isn't just drawing a line in the sand. It's like digging a moat around a castle. You're protecting yourself and saying, "This is where I stand." Now, of course, the narcissist may not like this and could push back. They might say you're being unreasonable or overreacting. That's where the second phrase comes in. It cuts off unnecessary arguing and shuts down the manipulation. It's, "I'm not discussing this with you." This phrase is short, direct, and firmly closes the door to any further manipulation. Narcissists are always looking for ways to twist your words and make you question yourself because they can't stand losing control. When you say, "I'm not discussing this with you," you're telling them clearly that you won't engage in their games. You have every right to set boundaries, to be treated with dignity, and to walk away from an argument. This phrase strengthens your boundaries even further. Not only do you have a moat around your castle protecting your space, but now you've put up a wall to stop anyone who dares try to cross it. Now, if there's anything we can take away from narcissists, then it is that they love to use your emotions against you. As a caring person, it is common to fall into their guilt-tripping or shaming traps, where they make you feel wrong for having boundaries or saying no to them. When narcissists don't get what they want, they don't just give up. No, they double down. And that's where things get tricky. They don't walk away. They find new ways to manipulate, attacking from different angles. If you don't know how to shut them down, they may try gaslighting you, twisting the situation, or even turning things around to make you look like the villain. Sure, having a moat by saying, "That's not acceptable," is powerful, but the dry moat, that's not enough. A dry moat only slows them down so long. Eventually, they'll try to breach the castle walls, using tactics like, "You're being unreasonable," or "It's always about what you want." And that's where phrase number 3 comes in. That's your opinion. This phrase is a game changer. It's like filling the dry moat with water. Narcissists believe that their ideas and opinions are superior to others and that everyone should just fall in line with their ideas or opinions. By saying, "That's your opinion," you're making it clear that your beliefs ideas, and opinions are separate from theirs. You're not intimidated by their supposed superiority. Narcissists hate this phrase because they thrive on verbal combat, trying to draw you into a fight where they can prove their intellectual superiority. But here's the thing, when you use this phrase, you're denying them of the very drama they crave. You're telling them, I don't need to engage in this. Your opinion doesn't affect me. It's a powerful statement that not only shuts them down, but also crushes their sense of superiority. You're showing them that their opinion doesn't matter to you and that you won't change who you are to make them happy. You're not their puppet, and that drives them crazy. If you found this video helpful so far, take a moment to hit the like button to show your appreciation. Now, let's step back for a moment. Castles aren't just fortresses. They're meant to be lived in. They're meant to house people, just like we, as humans, are meant to have others in our lives. But you don't want to just have anyone strolling into your castle or life. That's where drawbridges come in handy. They are designed to let people in at specific points and in a confined, manageable way. In the same way, you need to decide how others are allowed to interact with you. This includes narcissists. Sometimes you can't outright say no, but that doesn't mean you have to give them free rein. You set the terms, just like a drawbridge controls access to the castle. And that's where phrase number 4 comes in. This is what I want from you. This phrase is a game changer because it puts you in control of the interaction. You're clearly stating your needs and how you expect others to behave. A softer version of this phrase is, this is what works for me. Both are powerful because they allow you to dictate the terms of engagement while keeping yourself safe. Narcissists hate this phrase because they want to be the ones dictating the rules. They feel entitled to everything without giving anything in return. But when you say, this is what I want from you, you flip the script. You're telling them, you don't get to make the rules here. I do. And here's where it gets even more powerful. When you combine it with phrase 1, 2, and 3, you've built an almost impenetrable defense. Imagine this. The narcissist asks you to drive him to town for free. You start with a softer version of phrase 1. That doesn't work for me. Then you follow it up with phrase 4. This is what works for me. And ask them for gas money. Of course, they push back, accusing you of being selfish for even asking for gas money. So you calmly shut them down with phrase 3. That's your opinion. Then, to keep the boundary clear, you repeat phrase 4. This is what works for me. And then restate, I need gas money from you. If they try to escalate things and start an argument about the gas money, you end it all with phrase 2. I'm not discussing this with you. At this point, you've created a castle not just protected by a moat filled with water, but also fortified with a strong wall and a controlled drawbridge. You decide who gets in and how they interact with you. Now, being the master manipulators they are, narcissists know exactly how to charm their way across the drawbridge and into your life. They love bomb you, making you feel special, valued, and wanted. But once inside, their true intentions reveal themselves. They start sabotaging you with devaluing comments designed to chip away at your self-worth and confidence. They set fire to your dreams and hopes, ruining relationships and isolating you from others. Slowly but surely, they begin destroying your castle from the inside out. But don't worry, there's hope. Just as castles have guards and knights to maintain order and defend against chaos, so do you have tools to manage and protect your inner circle. That's where phrases 5, 6, and 7 come in. Now, you don't want to just throw people out of your life at the first misstep. After all, they've made it past your moat, your walls, and your drawbridge. You give them one chance to explain themselves. Just like royalty would give them an opportunity to state their case. And that's where phrase number 5 comes in. Why would you say or do that? This phrase is powerful because it forces the narcissist to confront their actions. It compels them to reflect on what they've just said or done and come up with a reason for it. Narcissists hate this because it shines a light on their behavior, exposing it for what it is. It also helps you distinguish between impulsive outbursts and calculated attacks. This phrase is also an effective way to uncover their true intentions. Narcissists rarely consider how their words or actions affect others. They act emotionally and selfishly. By making them reflect and explain themselves, their response reveals whether they care about hurting you and whether they can take responsibility for their actions. If they refuse to admit they were out of line and instead try to justify their behavior, their excuse reveals a lot about their way of thinking. They clearly think what they did is okay, and the excuse they tell themselves to not feel bad about it. This also shows you how much they value you, what behaviors they believe is acceptable toward you, and ultimately that protecting their ego is more valuable to them than your feelings or you. Of course, when confronted, narcissists often try to evade accountability with fake apologies. For example, they might say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which shifts blame onto you, implying you're overly emotional. Or they might use an evading apology where they don't admit they did anything wrong, like, "I'm sorry if I hurt you." Then there's that classic downplaying fake apology, "I'm sorry, but it was just a joke." If you want to learn more about fake apologies and the hidden motives behind them, check out the video linked in the description. It dives deeper into these tactics and reveals what narcissists are really thinking when they say these things. And that brings us to phrase number 6, or phrases narcissists hate to hear. That's not an apology. This phrase calls them out directly and takes away the power of their fake apologies. But if you want to really knock them off balance, follow it up with phrase number 4. "This is what I want from you." Then clearly state what they need to do to make things right on your terms. This is like throwing alligators into the moat to guard your boundaries. Now, the narcissist knows that crossing the moat, your boundaries, isn't just going to get them wet, which they can overcome with a simple "sorry," but that there will be real consequences. And that's the key. Narcissists don't respond to words. They respond to actions and consequences. They only adjust their behavior when they know that failing to do so will cost them something. By pairing these two phrases, you make it clear your boundaries are not suggestions, they are rules, and breaking them comes with serious repercussions. Now, just like royalty in a castle, you deal with repeat offenders and people who charm their way into your life only to reveal their true toxic nature later. Sometimes, like royalty, you must impose harsh consequences, restricting access to your castle or even banishing someone entirely. But the narcissist won't accept this without a fight. They'll attack your decisions, paint you as the villain, and cast themselves as the innocent victim. Which brings us to phrase number 7 and 8. Yes, there is a bonus phrase, because I feel it may come in handy in some extreme cases. When you've made your decision and the narcissist tries to argue with you or plead for one last chance, stand firm with phrase number 7. I've already made my decision. This phrase is like raising the drawbridge to protect your castle. It's a reminder that you're the ruler of your boundaries and you don't have to explain, apologize, or justify your choices to anyone. Narcissists thrive on endless debates and guilt trips, but this phrase shuts them down. It sends a clear message. Your boundaries are not up for negotiation. Now, some narcissists will escalate further. They might throw tantrums, which you can calmly shut down with phrase number 1. That's not acceptable. But be warned, in the most extreme cases, They might try the ultimate guilt trip, threatening to harm themselves and blaming you for it. This is emotional blackmail, and it is a heavy burden to bear. That's where phrase number 8 comes in. That's your choice. This phrase makes it crystal clear that their actions are their responsibility, not yours. It removes the power of their manipulation and places accountability where it belongs. If they make such threats, I strongly advise contacting the police or an ambulance. First, because suicide threats designed to manipulate you is emotional blackmail that often stop when they realize you are not going to fall for it, but just call an ambulance and have them taken away. And second, if they are serious, this ensures they receive the help they need. Don't try to talk them out of it yourself. You now have 8 powerful phrases to help you interact with narcissists. Every time you stand firm with one of these phrases, you're not just setting boundaries, you're building a stronger, more secure castle. Just be aware that narcissists have a nasty habit of playing innocent and acting dumb to try to dodge accountability. Click this video to learn more about this infuriating but highly effective tactic. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you there.